Hi, my name is Iyanna Parker, and I'm here with the Creative Agent Network. And today we are going to be creating wall hanging yarn art. Okay, so in front of me, I have two different examples of hanging wall art. So here's one, and here's my second. So there's two different ways we're going to practice making these today. So in front of me, I have my supplies. So I have yarn in about 5 different seasonal colors: orange, mustard color here, some yellow, and this just looks super fall tinted colors, or maybe yeah, this looks real seasonal. So like burgundy and some teal, if you can see. I also have some of this just for some different texture, so it's not all the same. All right, and I also have my dowel rod. So you just need your yarn, your dowel rod, and we can begin. Okay, so the first one I'm going to demonstrate is this one right here. Okay. And I put some paper down so you can see. So we're gonna start with this knot right here. I've already created one. Okay. So I have my string or my yarn. And what I'm going to do is take my dowel rod and place it on top, so the yarn is underneath. And I'm going to pull it down in between the two longer pieces of yarn right here on the side. So I'm going to pull it down. Okay. And then I'm going to take these pieces at the end, so you can see them here. Take these two pieces of yarn at the end and place them inside of that circle or oval shape right here. So I'm pulling it through the circle in the middle that we pulled down. And I'm pulling it through, and just keep pulling, and I've created a knot. All right, so I'm going to do that again. All these different colors. Okay, so starting with my yarn doubled over and making my two pieces at the end match. Dowel rod on top. I want to bring this portion up here that's out down, and I want to put my two pieces and loop them through this piece right here, loop it through this piece. And I'm going to pull towards me. And there we go. So I think I'm going to do about 5 of each color, just because I want it to be a little thick. Excuse me. So I have wrapped my yarn. The two pieces at the bottom are meeting. Dowel rod on top. Bring it down. And you can bring it down as much as you need, whatever is helpful for you. Okay, and I have my two pieces that meet. And I'm going to put them inside of the yarn piece that we pulled down. And I'm just pulling it towards myself. These come out really pretty for decoration. and can get really creative if you like to make different patterns. Okay, so yarn, double over, my end pieces meet. I'm taking the top portion, placing it down, and if you need to use both hands, you can to help you. My end pieces are going to go right inside of here, inside of this piece that I folded over, and I'm just pulling it towards myself. And it already is starting to look nice and full. I only did 5 pieces of yarn, which doubled over at the bottom makes 10. So for the next one, I think I'm going to do a different texture or a different color. This texture is different. These yarn textures are a bit different, but it still looks the same. I have made it to where my yarn is equal length and the bottom pieces meet. They meet. Start by putting my dowel rod on top, pulling the portion of yarn at the top down, taking my 2 pieces that meet at the end and have them go through this loop together at the bottom. And I pull it away from me. We get our piece of yarn folded over, have the 2 pieces at the end meet, place our dowel rod on top of the yarn, have the 2 pieces enter inside of this piece of yarn we pulled down, and I'm just taking these 2 end pieces and looping it through, pulling it towards myself. Oh wow, that looks great already. It's exciting. One piece of yarn, fold it over. So now you have 2 pieces, still connected. The 2 at the bottom still meet. Take the curved piece at the top. Place your dowel rod on top of that curved piece. Bring the piece at the top beneath the dowel rod. Put the 2 end pieces right there. Okay, and as we finish with our dowels, I'll show some more helpful tips. So if you want to place an extra piece of yarn somewhere, like maybe, let's say you wanted another piece here to make it thicker, you can take my yarn, my singular yarn piece, double it over where my ends meet, and there's a loop at the top. All right, so I want to add one right here in the middle. I'm taking my piece of yarn and I'm placing my dowel on top. You can move all the yarn out of the way so you can see. And when I pull it towards myself, they don't become too tight where we're not able to move the yarn. So we make the knots, they're still able to move. All right. So I'll take my piece from this side, pull it down. Take these end pieces here, place them through this loop, and pull it towards myself. Right, so I've added another yarn piece in the middle, and there you have it so far. These cool textures going on here. I think these are beautiful gift ideas and something that can make your home brighter and beautiful. My singular yarn piece, I have folded it over. My 2 ends match. They meet at the end. Loop up here, dowel on top, pulling this loop down, put my end pieces through my two end pieces through this loop right here, and pull it towards myself. All right, so at the end of creating your wall hanging art, you're gonna need to hang it up with something. So we're gonna take not white yarn, but maybe cream or tan, something that probably matches the wall. And so this is can be any length you desire. Okay, so on my dowel, I'm going to take my singular piece of yarn, put both pieces at the end. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take this piece, put the dowel on top, and just make a simple knot. So I'm just going to cross over and pull through. And I will show you again because I want it to be fairly secure. So just making knots, I pull it around and pull it through. Okay. One more time, I take this piece here with this other piece, a longer piece of yarn, shorter piece makes a circle, shorter piece goes through, pull. All right, and I'll do it on this side. I want it to be a little shorter, so I'm gonna pull my yarn down just a bit. And I have this piece on this side. So here it is, I'm folding it on top and I'm pushing it through the circle. And then I pull both ends, the long piece and the short. And there you have it. With time and however much yarn you have, you can also make it go all the way down to the end. It's up to the artist or the creator, so it's whatever you prefer. But in this other example, it goes down a little bit further. Right, and here's another example of wall tapestry that you can create. So for this one, if you would like to add, so let's say you made a wall tapestry and later it's on your wall and you're like, maybe I want to add more yarn to this. You can just pull the piece of yarn that is able to help it hang on the wall. You can just pull that off and you can go back over it. So for this one, you're taking about 4 pieces of yarn. So here's 1 that I have folded over. 2, I folded it over. 3, folded it over. So it's 1 piece of yarn, and I'm just folding it like we did for our last tapestry. And 4. Right? So for this one, we're going to take all 4 of these pieces of yarn and place them onto the dowel. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of yarn on my dowel, and next I'm going to pick a color. So how about this yellow color? It's a yellow piece of yarn, and what we do is we put the non-cream colored piece of yarn, which is what helps us keep up, would be putting the colored yarn on the bottom and just tying a knot. So we're taking the longer piece, short piece, placing the short piece on top of the long piece, and pulling a knot. And how tight your knot is reflects on how tight it will be to the dowel. So I'm just pulling up a little bit closer. All right, and we're going to make another knot. Now that we have our knot, we are just going to take our yarn. We're just going to take it back off of our dowel and take our yarn and wrap towards ourselves. So I'm holding it sideways and I'm wrapping it towards my body. Just wrap it towards your body, towards yourself. Not away, but towards yourself. And as I'm wrapping, I'm pulling ever so tightly, just so it looks uniform and like it's all the same knot. All right, so when I have enough that I desire, I'm going to take my two pieces again and fold them over and pull one of them through the circle and tie a knot. Right, and I would like to add more to this one, so I'm just going to take another piece of. So when you're doing it, just lay it on top. A shorter piece, a longer piece of yarn, and make a knot, putting them together, pulling it through. And we're going to do the same thing we did before, and that's just wrapping towards our bodies. And this takes time, because if you rush, it might not come out how you like if you rush. It's all about the process, the creative process, and also about messing up. If you mess up, you can always start over, and it's about learning the craft. So if it doesn't work out the first time, you just keep trying. Okay, so I've wrapped it around and I'm left with these two pieces at the end. It looks like a person dancing. And I'm going to take those two pieces, fold one on top of the other, and pull it through. So at the end, you have these pretty little colors, and it also should fit back onto your dowel. All right, one loop, two, three, four. And there you have it. It's on there. And I can also put the other ones back created. Some pieces are longer than others, so I'm going to take my scissors that I have here and cut. I see fit. And it doesn't have to be perfectly even. So for this one, I think it's kind of going to look like a pattern. This is how I would like it to look. So the two in the middle are shorter, and the ones on the end are longer. So it kind of looks the same. And offbeat pattern. It can be whatever you want. I just like mine this way. And we have to put our yarn piece at the end. So for this one, I use a different color. I'm just going to go ahead and loop that end back on. It came out very nice. And for this one, some of the pieces are too long. So I'm just going to take my scissors and lay it out on the table, starting with the piece that hangs. Taking my scissors and kind of combing it through. And I like for it not to be super even, perfect, I guess, so to speak. So some pieces may be longer than others, but they all stop at the general area, the same length, essentially. Okay, so there's the other tapestry. I actually love how this one came out as well. I hope you enjoyed creating these today. I hope they bring beauty to your space or make a great gift for yourself or someone else. Thank you again for joining the Creative Aging Network. My name is Iyanna Parker. Hope to see you again soon.